It's Wednesday, so that can only mean one thing. We are back with another video covering the regional indie MMA highlights that happened in the obscure parts of the world this weekend and bringing you the best ones. And if these videos aren't enough for you diehards, then go give Caposa a follow on Twitter at Grabaka_Hitman for more clips just like these every week. Seriously, look at this. The guy's a machine when it comes to finding fight highlights. What's going on, everyone? It's the casual Lawton Veerkant, and this is Caposa's Corner. Starting us off right, we are going to Road Fighting Championship 58 in South Korea. This is a lightweight bout between Taesung Kim, who has a 4-0 record, and his opponent, cwon Park, is also undefeated, sitting at 5-0. This is going to be a fight to the death, or at least to someone's first professional loss. Sticking with our first round tradition, just 1 minute in, and here we go. A few jabs from Park to distract his opponent from this huge left that comes in, and Kim is face planted into the canvas and stiff as a board. Park is now not only undefeated at 6-0, but gets this incredible first round knockout added to his resume and is exactly the type of fighter we like to see here. Up next, we are going to World Total Combat Federation's Grand Prix event in Uzbekistan. This middleweight fight sees Jahongir Jumayev with a 5-0 record, taking on Artyom Beloychuk, who has a 2-1 record. And with only 5 seconds remaining in the first round, we get this. Oh yeah, spinning back fist directly to the face of Beloychuk, and he is down and hanging over the ropes. Jumayev puts on this incredible performance to not only get this knockout and win, but he displays his strength and improves his record to 6-0 and is someone that you absolutely need to keep your eye on as he is in prime prospect status. Now we're off to Open Fighting Championship 6 in Russia. Here we have a heavyweight fight that sees Sergey Bilasteni with a 6-2 record, going against Alex Sondry, who has a 10-4 record. There's not really much time for me to say much before this one, so round 1 starts, and here we go.
Oh, and he adds kicking technique to his arsenal too. Oh, big start from Bilasteni. It's a knockout, knockout. Wow.
Just 20 seconds in, Sergey lands 1 kick followed by 2 hooks that send Alex to the ground, only to be put to sleep by the inevitable ground and pound. Maybe this is what Alex gets for taunting just before the final sequence, but either way, Sergey improves his record to 7-2 and lands this beautiful finish. Next up, we have OCE Professional's Kursk Battle event in Russia for 2 fights. The first is a featherweight bout between Manos Abdakim with a 2-0 record, taking on Artur Galiulin, who has a 2-4 record. This is one of those ones where we don't have audio in only one angle, but we couldn't leave this one out. Look at this knockout, and if you just blinked, then you probably missed it. Galiulin reads this spinning back kick and lands a counter right hook that lifts Abdakim off the ground, only to land quickly back down, and the hammer fists are just the icing on the cake for this incredible knockout. Galiulin secures this win and improves his record to 3-4. For our second fight at OCE Professional, we have a heavyweight matchup between Nikolai Zagrabelny, who only has a 1-0 record, and he's up against Nicolas Shervasidze, who has a 3-0 record. Now, this one is interesting, but check it out. Weird, right? I have never seen a flying knee turn into a right hook mid-air, but that's exactly what Zagrabelny does for this win, and it works out perfectly. He improves his record to 2-0 and hopefully can get some more great knockouts like this one in his future. Moving on, we are going to Germany for Elite MMA Championship 7 for 1 fight. This is a heavyweight co-main event between Pietro Capelli, who has an 8-1 record, taking on Olympic judo gold medalist Satoshi Ishii, who has a 24-13-1 MMA record. And he's a recognizable face who's fought everyone from Fedor to Crow Cop to Rampage and even more recent fighters like Yuri Prohaska. He might have a slight advantage. Only 1 minute into this fight and Satoshi easily takes this one to the ground via trip, which I'm gonna assume is where he wants it given his judo background. And once this north-south choke is secured, well, the rest is history.
Return well. Yeah, Capelli, I think, is absolutely choked out, and that's it, it's all over! Choked out, strangled!
Absolute textbook example of ground game from Satoshi, as he not only dominates this whole fight, but completely chokes out Capelli to gain this win and improve his record to 25-13-1. Heading over to France, we have the Mixed Martial Arts Grand Prix 3 event for one fight, and it's a banger. This middleweight fight sees Ilian Buafia making his pro debut in the black shorts, going against Milton Cabral, who only has a 1-0 record and is in the blue shorts. Now, I'll spoil this. The whole fight only lasts 1 minute and 18 seconds, but these two use every single second of it. It is a brawl that sees each of them get rocked, Cabral noticeably twice, and then just over 1 minute in, this happens.
And again with the left hand! And a second one, this one's over!
Double left hook straight to the jaw, and Cabral can do nothing but fall to the canvas. What an insane fight this one was, and what an even better debut for Ilian as he secures his first win and makes a pretty big statement in doing so. Now it's time to pay a visit to our friends in Florida for Titan FC 70 for one fight. Here we have a flyweight bout between Ernest Walls, who has a 2-7 record, taking on Roy Echeverria, who has a 4-0 record. Another first round finish, and by one of my favorite types of knockouts.
Again. Oh, and he wobbles him, and it's over.
Highlight reel knockout.
Wow, talking about you're his highlight. Yeah.
Spinning wheel kick that Walls almost blocked, but it just wasn't enough, and he falls down and out to the canvas. Absolutely beautiful display by Echeverria as he gains yet another win, making his record 5-0, and is yet another person to keep your eye on, because at this rate, we'll see him again either here or on a larger stage in the near future. Still going, we are headed to Cage Fury Fighting Championships 98 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for 2 fights. And the first is none other than Caposa's KO of the week. This is a bantamweight fight that sees Zachary Burhans sitting with a 3-4 record, and he's taking on Joseph Schick, who has a 2-2 record. Before we get to the action, I would like to point out that between the first and second round, Burhans actually had to put his contact back in because it fell out somewhere in the first. Definitely not something you see every day, but anyways, round 2 starts, and here we go.
Don't want me to talk about contact lenses. They want me to talk about this fight. Oh! Big knockout!
Schick is putting the heat on, and all it takes is a right hook sent straight from Thanos, and Burhans is face first and into the canvas. What a devastating blow from Schick, who gets this insane knockout added to his resume, and he improves his record to 3-2. For our second fight at CFFC 98, we have a welterweight matchup between Lee Lilly, who has a 7-4 record, and he's taking on Solomon Renfro, who has a 7-1 record. Yet another first round finish, and we are just 1.5 minutes into this one, and check it out.
Prides himself on his boxing. Does have some aspirations. Big right here. This is going to be over. He's out.
Talk about a stiff jab. Dear Lord, Renfro sent him down with this jab, and then the right hook to the top of the head is the kill shot that ultimately puts Lilly out and on the canvas. And we started doing Caposa's Corner to highlight smaller promotions and fighters who you should be on the lookout for, and Renfro is exactly the type of fighter who fits this description as he gains this win and improves his record to 8-1. We've only got one more fight this week, and it only makes sense to go see our friends at LFA 110 in Oklahoma. This is a strawweight fight between Jacqueline Amorim, sitting at a 3-0, up against Megan Owen, who has a 1-0 record. Oh look, another first round finish, and this one only takes 10 seconds.
Whoa! Big shot! Big shot, Wilbur! Oh my God!
A right hook so hard that it spins Owen's hair around is followed by a head slam and 2 hammer fists, and this fight is over almost before it even got started. And I'd like to point out that Amorim has won multiple regional IBJJF competitions, as well as placing 2nd and 3rd in the world competition just a few years ago. And she has knockout power like this. We also know the UFC loves to call up LFA fighters. Remember Terrence McKinney a few weeks ago? So keep your eye out on this girl, because depending on her next few fights, she could easily be in the mix with the UFC strawweight division here soon. But either way, what an incredible performance by Amorim as she proves her finishing power, secures this impressive 10-second finish, and remains undefeated at 4-0. Like I said earlier, if you want more content just like these videos daily, then you gotta give Caposa a follow on Twitter at Krabaka_Hitman. And you can also support him on his Patreon at patreon.com/Caposa. And a huge shout out, as always, to these amazing organizations for hosting these events every weekend, year round, for our viewing pleasure, and to the fighters, winners, and losers, and we will see you all on the next video. Peace!